Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and in this video, we are going to be having a showdown between the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro and Frog's Jeep Gladiator. Now, these two are obviously both very, very capable, and I have done my best to match them as closely as I possibly can. We have almost the exact same size tire. We have almost the exact same bumper height and suspension height. We have almost the exact same power to weight rating. We have a lot of similarities between these two rigs, and now it's time to put them through a series of tests and challenges and see which one comes out on top. Now, I also would like you guys to let me know in the comment section below, which one of these would you be taking home? Now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and disable the free camera, and we are going to set off. And also, I will leave a link in the description below to where you can download the Tacoma on mod.io, and the Gladiator is one of Frog's premium mods, and I will leave a link to his Discord in the description down below, which has more information on how you can get your hands on it and his other premium mods. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and kick off these tests. Now, we're going to start things off in the Tacoma because you guys have seen the Gladiator before. Y'all know how it works. Y'all know how it drives, and we're almost going to smash into it, and it is going to come with us, so we don't have to kind of go back and, oh god, so we don't have to go back and get it. I'm going to pull it to our first test. Now, the first test is very simple. It is a hill climb, and you know what? I think we're actually going to just go ahead and leave the Gladiator there, and we'll drive the Tacoma to the hill climb. Now, the Tacoma is a blast to drive. You'll know that if you watched my initial mod review and mod impressions video on this truck. However, I've never actually brought it out to the proving grounds, and so I'm not sure how it's actually going to do, but I'm very curious to see. And before you ask, yes, the bridge jump will be an included comparison, so that's going to be fun. Now, first comparison right off the bat is going to be, of course, the hill climb. And the way we are going to do this is we are going to start with the front tires right before the asphalt. Right before the asphalt, aiming at the hill. So this is how we are going to make this test fair, and I'll make sure both of these vehicles have been fully repaired before they make their run. So without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, go! Throw it in high and flat out. Climbs up, no problem at all. Absolutely no problem at all climbing up the hill itself. So now we're going to pull this guy off to the side, and we are going to go grab the Gladiator and see how that does. Now, if there was a question or if there was a part of this comparison that had to do with which one was louder, it would definitely be the Gladiator. The Gladiator definitely takes the cake in terms of volume, that's for sure. Both of them have pretty similar performance, actually, like just diving into the river and driving back out of it again. Let's bring this guy up right next to the Tacoma, and whoop. All right, we're gonna go ahead and position the front tires just before the pavement, as we did before. All right, right before the pavement, and repair and refuel, so it's a fresh rig. Oh, this thing takes off even with the handbrake on. 3, 2, 1, go! Keep it in high, flat out. Whoa! The bumper smashes into the wall. Well, I guess we're gonna have to modify this a little bit. Let me actually go at it from a slight angle. I'll start at about relatively the same place, but wow, it is not okay with that. That bumper hangs out a lot farther than you might think. Either that or the bumper on the Tacoma clips through the rock. I have no idea, but with the bumper problem out of the way, it climbs right up just as easily as the Tacoma did. So they definitely seem pretty dang even there, apart from the Jeep's bumper just smashing into the side of the hill, which that can be sort of, you know, accounted for in terms of the way you approach your obstacles, and so that's not really that big of an issue. Now for a mud test. Now the mud test is always an interesting one, and this, I'm sure there are going to be people in the comment section down below that are going to be like, oh my god, that was unfair because of the Tacoma's tires, and, you know, the Jeep's tires are going to be overpowered here. I will definitely account for the fact that, yes, there is a difference in tires, but I don't think the difference is going to be quite as obvious as you might think. Now, in the shallow mud, the Gladiator definitely holds its own. I mean, we're in high, flat out, and it really has no problems here. But let's go into the deeper stuff and see how it does there. This is high range still. Slowed down a lot, but actually picking the speed back up once I let off to about 3/4 throttle. Oh, it really dove in there, and that's where it started to stall out. Now, low plus is still effective. Low plus still actually works really well out here. You just have to kind of be on your toes about when it actually starts to sink and when you should go down to standard low and get out of low plus. But low plus still seems to be very effective here, and I don't feel like I'm getting any sort of slowdown at all whatsoever. So at the end of the day, I really think that this thing did a really good job in the mud, and I think it shows really good promise in the mud. Now, will the Tacoma TRD Pro put up an exact fight to that? I'm not sure, but I would really like to find out. Now, let's put it down in low because it appears as though right towards the end here, the Jeep did start to have a little bit of an issue because the front end started to really dig down. That was when it was truly time to pull it out of low plus and put it into standard low, because at the end of the day, I mean, there does come a time when you really have to take it out of low plus. But not a bad showing at all from the Gladiator in the mud, and we're gonna go ahead and park this guy right up here at the road, shut it down, and grab the Tacoma. Now, let's make sure the Tacoma is fully repaired and refueled, which it is. I don't know why I did that, but, you know, sometimes you just want to check and make sure. Oh, come on! Oh, well. We'll go ahead and repair it one more time. I hate that, like, pebble damage. Pebble damage is a problem. A real problem. Alright, so high range and into the shallow mud first off. Doing pretty well. Seems to be holding its own about the same way that the Gladiator was in the shallow stuff. Keep in mind, this is in high range, this is flat out, so I would say it's doing a very good job. It doesn't feel like it's going to start spinning or start sinking, you know, and give up anytime soon. Definitely doesn't feel that way at all. So I'm going to do a quick little loop here and then drive it into the very first mud lane, which will get just a little bit deeper. It actually got a little bit deeper there, and you can see it slowed down a little bit. So it's not looking super promising for this mud, but we'll find out. Oh, wow. It's actually almost completely stuck. Wow. Okay. That is insane. That's even, like, low minus. Look, it's, like, done. Now, I'm actually very surprised by that. I thought this thing was really going to put on a show in the mud, and it ended up just getting completely stuck. Now, granted, though, I will have to say that I'm sure that comes down a lot to the tires. We can't even back it out. We literally have to get the Jeep to go get it. Now, this is not me saying that the Jeep is better or anything like that. This is me just saying the Jeep has better tires on it. Really, that's the entire takeaway from that test, because they both had basically equal performance going up the hill climb, but in the mud, the Gladiator definitely won out, and really, like I said before, that is pretty much almost solely down to the fact that the Jeep is running much, much, much better tires. Now we're going to be on to the dips obstacle, which is going to test not only the suspension articulation, but the approach and departure angles of both of these vehicles. So I would say, actually, I feel like the Tacoma may do a little bit better in the dips obstacle, but we'll have to wait and see. It just seems to me like it may do a little bit better there, just solely because of the fact that, yes, this thing's approach angle isn't necessarily perfect, and its departure angle is kind of bad, but the approach angle is a little better than the approach angle of the Gladiator. So let's give her a go. That's the first one already out of the way. Small amounts of throttle. Wow, actually, this is doing really well. Dude, it just makes its way right through. Makes its way right through. Even when you hit it, like, straight on, that's very impressive. I've got to say, that's extremely impressive. Wonderful job there from the Tacoma. If you just give it a little bit of an angle, you're fine. A little bit of an angle in between these dips, and you're good to go. All you have to do is allow for that, and you'll never high center the thing as long as you allow for that little flex. Yeah, this thing did amazing. That's Dude, that's a brilliant performance from this thing. Really reliable, and I could see it being a really good truck because of that performance in a lot of different situations on many different maps. So now, let's go ahead and head to the dips obstacle in the Gladiator. Now, the Gladiator, obviously, like I said before, has that gigantic bumper that hangs off of the front end and could potentially cause some pretty big issues for us. And I'm really hoping that it doesn't, but it's also pretty long, and the gap between the wheels is pretty big, so we're looking at potentially some issues with high centering here if we don't hardcore angle ourselves as we're going over these dips. So let's see how that plays out. Big flex basically every time we go over these, and I'm really trying hard to kind of set it up so that there's a lot of angle and it can use that angle of that crossing to its advantage. It's doing better than I thought, though. I figured that the bumper would have dug into the ground by now, but it hasn't. It's really impressive. Make your way. Not bad. And we'll just keep this sort of diagonal angle as we come through the last dip. Really good job there from both vehicles, actually. Very, very good, and honestly, I don't think you could go wrong with either one through the dips obstacle. So now, we're going to go ahead and hop back in the Tacoma, and for this test, this is the only part of the test where I will be switching parts. Transmission is turning to highway, and engine is going from engine 1 to engine 2. We now have, let me just make sure that that's completely refreshed. We now have 6 gears, and we have a S+ power to weight rating. And don't worry, we will be upgrading the Gladiator for this part as well, because you guys know exactly what part of the video this is. This is the bridge jump. And the bridge jump is one of my favorite parts. It's always one of my favorite parts whenever I test out trucks. All right, Tacoma. Ooh, drifty boy. All right, I can dig that. We're already in 6th gear. Should be a pretty good showing from this thing as we go down the hill. And come on. All right, we're already in 6th. I'm gonna stay flat out, build that momentum up, and see how far we can go. Straight into the barrels. Not quite a strike, but straight into the barrels. All right, so now we're going to hop into the Gladiator, and we're going to do a quick little rework on it as well. And I believe Gladiator 1 is the highway, and then engine 2 is going to be your top. So this is going to have 8 gears and a crap ton of horsepower. Yeah, S+. Okay, yeah, this thing is here to party. This thing is absolutely 100% here to party, and it will probably go farther off of the jump than the Tacoma, because this is the only test where I test out basically a max speed capability. And whoa, oh dude, that's okay. That's like Formula Drift spec right there. It threw itself very sideways. Whoa. We're gonna have to use the interior cam as we go down the bridge, because as we all know, the camera does glitch out. And go, 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 go! 8th gear, running! You know, I don't think I can actually replicate that again if I tried. And the weird thing is, I can tell you that this was definitely going faster, but it nosedived more, and that caused it to go into the barrels, and then the front end absorbed all of the impact. But the funny part about that is that it didn't actually cause any like technical damage to the vehicle itself. Now, which one of these would you guys take home? Which one of these would you take to the trails? And more importantly, which one would you have in your driveway and in your game in SnowRunner? Now, with that all being said, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, and make sure you subscribe and turn those notifications on, and I'll see y'all next time.